Prototyping your app in Keynote or PowerPoint. Now that you've got your idea, it's time to make a prototype of your app. Now, this is the fun bit. This is where you get to bring it to life and show people what it might look like. You're going to use a presentation software. I'm going to use Keynote. You could use PowerPoint or you could use Google Slides. And this is what my final app is going to look like. It's a lunchtime app to help teach you languages. So you click on different bits and it will the different buttons will take you to areas that will teach you some languages. For speed, I've already opened my presentation and I've put an iPad background in because I want my app to be for iPad. I've put a title in and a little bit of instruction for my user, and I've added in some colours and a bit of a background. I'm going to add a home button now because most apps have a home button which gets you back to the beginning, back to this home screen. So if I type in home in my shapes menu at the very top, which is the circle and square, I've got a house. I'm going to get that to the right size and then double tap and add in the words home. I also want some lunch. I want a picture so that we can find out the words for lunch. So if I search for the word meal, I can find an appropriate thing. You could look online and you could find some symbols that work for your app. So I'm going to double tap and write in the word lunch. And I also want some dessert. So the next thing I'm going to add in, so I have a search for my shapes again, and I'm going to find a healthy apple for some healthy choices. So again, you could search online to find your shapes or use what's inbuilt in the software that you've decided on. Once you've built your home screen, it's time to start making your presentation act a little bit more like an app. So I'm going to go in Keynote to the title of my file, choose presentation options, presentation type, and then make my file links only. In PowerPoint, you might find a way of doing this, or you might just keep in your hyperlinks. I'm going to link my home button so that every time my home button is pressed in my app, it will take me back to this home screen. So I'll click on my icon that I've chosen for my home button, choose link, and then choose slide number 1. I always want my home button to come back here. It works the same in PowerPoint and in Google Slides. I'm now ready to start building what my app will look like on the inside when I start going into it. I'm ready to duplicate the slides. This saves you a lot of work. So if I tap on a slide and duplicate it, or right click on a slide and duplicate it, I can then change this and I can use this for my lunch or my dessert or my drinks. So why don't you go and carry on building the rest of the inside of your app and see what you want to add in, pictures, information, videos, and then I will show you how to hyperlink them all together. On PowerPoint, it's very similar. Choose the button that you want to link to, choose Insert, and then choose Link, which looks like 2 chains in the middle here, and then choose First Slide, so it will always go back to home within this document. You'll also need to set up transitions to act like a prototype of our app. So choose Transitions, and then all the way at the other end, on mouse click, it needs to be turned off. Once you have the rest of the content of your app more or less sorted out, you can add in some other hyperlinks. Do this at the end, otherwise it gets very confusing and links may change. So I know that when I press the meals button, I want to go to slide number 2. So I'm going to click on my meals icon, choose link, and choose slide number 2. So anytime I press that button, it will go to slide number 2. And when I press my home, it will come back home. For desserts, I'm looking on the sidebar and I can see desserts is slide number 6. So I'm going to change to slide number 6. And then for drinks, I can see that drinks is slide number 7. So I would choose link and slide number 7. I've also added some extra content inside, so I've started to really flesh out my app. If I go to the meals page, I've already started adding in some links. So if I click on the soup, it will take me to a slide that tells me the French for it. So I'm going to go to slide number 3. This is why you should do this at the end, because your slides might change. Let's try my app out by pressing play. So if I press the home button, I go home. If I press desserts, then I'll go to the desserts page and then go home again. I could go to meals. I can click on my soup and then I could go home. So try yours out, add in some links. You may need to remove them a few times, but have fun.